I'm Steven.
Hello, I'm Rizwan.
And we're Cardboard Coalition. Today, we figured we'd give you a comparison kind of video. So if you're interested in starting to play worker replacement, or if you're interested in Viking themed games, we figured we'd bring these two games up and talk about the similarities and the differences between them, and hopefully help you choose your first worker replacement, your first Viking game, or even your first game at all, right? Or just kind of understand the differences between the two in case you were looking at them both. So when I first heard of these games, I was told about both of them at the same time. I ended up buying Raiders first, Raiders of the North Sea, because I found it at a deal, so I got it cheap. And then I ended up buying Champions of Midgard. And as you see here, I have some of the expansion stuff here. I have everything for Champions of Midgard with the Jarl box. I'm missing Fields of Fame for Raiders of the North Sea, but this is also the big box that puts everything in. So I just thought it'd be nice to have all those up. But we're mainly talking about, or we will be talking about, the Raiders of the North Sea, right? This one, versus Champions of Midgard, just the base games, because that's what we played. That's what I had Rizwan play. And maybe in the future, we will play through the expansion. Well, I know in the future we'll play through the expansions. Try not to give any spoilers about our ideas about both games, but you could probably get an idea seeing that we have the expansions here too. So, I'll just do a quick overview. If you guys haven't seen our videos, we did a playthrough, how to plan a playthrough for both Raiders of the North Sea and Champions of Midgard. So I'll put the links in the description for those if you guys want to go back and watch them to get a better understanding. But basically, with Raiders of the North Sea, your Vikings, they're both Viking games, but your Vikings, and you're trying to just raid. That's the whole point to the game, is you're just raiding in the North Sea, obviously, and you're trying to impress the Jarl, which is like the king or the prince or however you want to look at it. The ruler, the chieftain, really, I guess would be the best way to put it, the chieftain of your village. So with this one, it's worker replacement. Put down a worker, do the action, pick up a worker, do the action, and try to raid all the way up. This one has some win conditions that in the game, you either have one fortress left, I'm trying to remember them all, one fortress left, no Valkyries left, and I want to say there's a third one. Oh, and then the Jarl, there's these tiles for the Jarl, the offerings. So you give him stuff and he gives you things which are basically points. And you give him stuff that you've picked up raiding. If those tiles run out, so if the only one fortress left, no more Valkyries on the board, or the Jarl tiles run out, that starts the end condition for this game. Then whoever started that end condition, say it was my turn, then Rizwan gets one turn. So all other players get one more turn. Then with Champions of the North Sea, there's an actual counter. So you have round 1, round 2, round 3, all the way to round 8. Once you hit round 8, you both get your turns, and then game's over. So they both kind of have an end phase, but with Champions of Midgard, it's your Jarl dies, and you're trying to prove to your village that you're the best Jarl, or you're best suited to be the next Jarl. So you fight trolls, you fight draugrs. There's always trolls attacking the village, always draugrs wandering around in the woods. You fight monsters that are destroying the sea trade. So you go out and fight these big monsters and go on these voyages or journeys, what they call it there. And what you're trying to do in this one is you're trying to convince the people of your village that you are the best Viking and the best suited to become the next Jarl, right? And so this one, like I said before, kind of out of order, is the end game for this one is the tracker. Once it hits 8, game's done. So that's basically a quick basic overview of both these games. So let's start with Raiders of the North Sea. Rizwan. So with Raiders of the North Sea, that's the one where you put down the worker, you pick up the worker. What was your favorite thing about Raiders of the North Sea?
My favorite part of this game, how it's going to be the end. I prefer this part of this game. It's longer than other games. saw this part of that.
Okay. You like how it starts the end of the game. One of the things I really like about Raiders, which is weird.
The end. How it's going to the end. I like that part of that.
Yeah, how it ends. Yeah, that's now it slipped from my mind, but the end function of the game, right? That brings on the end. So with Raiders of the North Sea, instead of just having a tracker and you know at a certain time you're going to be done, with Raiders of the North Sea, you can stretch the game out or try to shrink it. If you feel like you're way ahead, if you watch the playthrough, I think that last third's missing, bad editing on my part. But Rezwan ends up winning, but I end the game early because I think I'm going to win. So I tried to close off all the fortresses. So there's one fortress left to end the game. So with Raiders, you can force the game to end quicker, or you take your time, maybe try to raid everything, get as many points as you can. So that's kind of what Rezwan's talking about and she likes about it. One of the things I like about Raiders is even though the name of it is Raiders of the North Sea, it's relaxing. I feel like Raiders of the North Sea is a calmer, it's just a more calm kind of game. It's very peaceful. And I know it's Raiders, so look at it however you will, but you kind of put down a worker, do that action, pick up a worker, do that action. It's enjoyable, but it's a relaxing kind of Viking worker replacement game. So, let's jump to Champions, because we'll try to make this a very short video. So let's jump to Champions of Midgard. What's your favorite thing about Champions of Midgard, Rezvan?
Champion, in this game, it's so good because you must to focus about a lot of things in this game. If you want to have a good point, you must do attention about all the parts of this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that part of that.
Okay. Yeah.
It makes peace in my mind all the time. I must attention about this, that, this. It's make me, happy.
Yeah. So there, you have to pay attention to what points you get. You can get points from killing trolls. You can give other people blame tokens if they didn't kill the troll. You can take blame tokens away from yourself, but you get points for killing the troll. You can give other people negative points if they didn't kill the troll. You can get points for killing the draugrs, and there's different point levels. And there's some of them have restrictions on dice that you can use, so you have to think through that. Then you have your monsters that you can go fight for points. And during that, you have to get through the journey first. You have to get the boat and float over there, and hopefully everybody survives. And you can feed them all so they can fight the monster. So there's different ways. Raiders there's different ways to get points, but it's not. You kind of just collect up as much as you can. I'm sure if you really dig into it. Remember, we're fairly new at playing board games. Me or tabletop games, whatever you prefer. I've been buying games and having game nights probably for the last 2 years now, 3. And about 2 years before that, I got kind of introduced to board gaming. So I'm only about 5 years in. Rezwan's always played like backgammon, more traditional games. And once she met me, we got into playing some of the newer tabletop games. So Rezwan probably has about a year in. So I'm sure with Raiders, there could be more number crunching and stuff that goes on with that. And there's a little bit, right, when you're attacking the different areas and how you can gain a little bit more points. But with Champions, you definitely can pick what monsters you want to get. You can pick those combinations. At the end, there's a scoring on combinations. So you have factors that you can weigh in on Champions of Midgard. One of the big things I like about Champions of Midgard, like I've said before in my videos, is one of the reasons I like tabletop games is the tactile nature. I've been a video game player forever, like a lot of people, and there's wonderful worlds and fun games of playing video games too. But with board games, there's a tactile nature, right? Tactile meaning that you can touch it, you can feel what's going on. And I know you can feel a controller for a video game or a mouse and a keypad, I get that. But you get to feel the components. So with Champions, one of my favorite things are the dice. So in Raiders of the North Sea, your Vikings are meeples. In Champions of Midgard, your Vikings are dice. Though you do have meeples, you do have little, and meeples are these little wooden people for anybody that's new to gaming. These little wooden people, I should have probably put some things out so I can show you. But meeple are these little wooden people. You have them as workers in Champions of Midgard, but your fighters are dice. And that gets into my favorite thing about this game is their dice. You shake them up and you throw them down, and you have 3 types of fighters. With the expansion, you have different kinds of fighters. But with the core game, you have 3 types of fighters, and they have different variability on shields or no shields or how many hits you can get with them. So I really like the dice part of the game. So between the two, they have that similar theme. I'm trying to move us on to the next thing. They have that similar theme, but Rezvon, I'm interested, now that you've played both the games, you've played both of them a couple times. We haven't played a ton because we wanted to get a video out to talk to you guys about it, but you've played both games a couple times, Raiders of the North Sea and Champions of Midgard. So Rezvon, what do you think, which one do you think's your favorite?
It's too hard. Okay. I prefer Champions
Okay.
of Midgard.
You prefer Champions? And here's the thing, Rezvon, you don't have to pick one. You could talk about how you like them both, because I do know when we rated them, I can't remember my ratings, which is really funny, but I remember Rezvon's ratings.
I said that because I thought I must decide one of them.
No.
Both are so close together. I like both of them, and it's so good because I'm enjoying play again. Both like each other for me.
Yeah. You like them both the same. That's what I was going to say, because when you rated them, I don't remember my ratings. I think mine were the same for both, but when you rated them both an 8. You gave Raiders of the North Sea an 8, and you gave Champions of Midgard an 8.
Yeah.
And I think I might have done 8 on both of them too, but I fall in the same category where neither of them are my favorite. And we haven't played the expansions yet, and I promise you, because Rezvon likes both the games, we'll get into the expansions and play the expansions, which gives more gameplay depending. This gives you more things to do in Raiders of the North Sea. The expansions in Champions gives you more dice. There's more things to do, but there's more dice and stuff too, more warriors. But we'll definitely get into the expansions and play them. But back to it, both of them, I like them both the same, right? For me, it depends on what your mood is. Do you want a more relaxing but fun, beautiful art, right? You can play Raiders of the North Sea. It's got beautiful art. It's relaxing. You're still a Viking. You're raiding. You're doing kind of all that Viking stuff. Then in Champions of Midgard, it's not my favorite art. Like I said in the review of Champions of Midgard, but I'm not an artist. But with this one, you get to roll those dice. You get to attack monsters. You're fighting all the time. And things can go horribly wrong for you, which, especially on the voyages to fight monsters, I've lost to monsters because everybody dies on my ship, or most of my fighters die trying to get to the monster, or warriors, or I've even lost to trolls or draugrs because of bad rolls. Like I'm coming up with nothing and they end up beating me to a pulp. So there's an excitement in this one. This one's a more relaxing. So Raiders of the North Sea, more relaxing. Champions in Midgard, there's more excitement. I'm not saying that Raiders of the North Sea is boring by any means. It's really, really fun. I always find myself wanting to play it. But I always find myself wanting to play Champions in Midgard. And also, beyond just Rezvon and I've played both of these games with a group of people. So about 4. I can't remember with Raiders. Champions, it's been more recent. I think it was probably about 4 or 5. You can always assume with both of them. But people like both of them, and they'll ask me to bring both of them to game night, or when they come to our house to play. And Rezvon's not here yet, but it's her house too. But when they come to our house to play, it's a mix between the two. So it's really hard to say. So I enjoy them both. I was just thinking right now, time-wise, what game do you think takes longer, Rezvon? Raiders of the North Sea or Champions of Midgard? Took us longer to play. And I'm going to cheat and look at times. All right.
I don't know why, but North Sea longer than Champions of the Midgard?
Yeah, I feel the same thing, but I was looking at the back of the boxes, and I'm doing it again. So, Raiders of the North Sea on the back of the box, because it'll give you all the details. Like, this is for people who are kind of new to this stuff. If you already know, you can like, whatever. But the amount of players you can play, the age, which you could usually go a little younger with the age, depending on if there's really violent stuff, but just gameplay. So, number of player, age, and time. You get those on the back of the box. So Raiders of the North Sea says that it plays in 60 to 80 minutes. So an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. And then over here, Champions of Midgard says it plays between 60 and 90 minutes. So Champions on the back of the box says it plays, takes 10 minutes longer, up to 10 minutes longer. But I agree with you. I feel like Raiders, it's a slower moving game. And like I said, nothing negative against it, but I feel like it's taken us longer. It's always taken me longer to get through a game of this than a game of Champions of Midgard. And I wonder if that's just the very relaxed feeling of Raiders of the North Sea. So you're kind of going through and you're rating. And I get it, it's Raiders, but you're kind of going through and doing your thing. Where Champions of Midgard, you're rolling those dice. You're like, oh, am I going to kill this guy? Do I have enough food and people to put on a ship to go fight this monster? There's maybe a lot more action going on over here. This is very, the term for the game is Euro, which is abstract, right? And then you have more Ameritrash, which I think we should call them Eurotrash and, Amera. But anyways, so Ameritrash is more of an action fighting kind of game. So maybe that might be the slight difference, but it says the Champions of Midgard takes a little bit longer. But I feel like when we've played through, my love, that Raiders of the North Sea took longer. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
But
I know this one.
Yeah.
Played so quick.
Say that again, my love.
Maybe we played so fast, Champions of Midgard, but I think that's longer than this.
Yeah. You think Raiders is longer than Champions? Yeah, and it goes back to us being fairly new at all this stuff with board games. Maybe we're not doing everything we could do in Champions of Midgard. That kind of slows it down, and there's more number crunching you do or more things you can do to manipulate. I know we don't use the runes as much, but it's only two of us playing. I know we don't use the Destiny cards as much, so maybe that kind of slows it down a little. But an overall review, like I said, they're both great games. I enjoy them both. I'd rank them, no matter what the number is, I'd rank them both at the same level. But one is if you want to have fun, but a more chill, more relaxed kind of fun, then Raiders of the North Sea. Break that out. And it's really easy to understand the worker replacement in this, because you put a worker down, you do that action, you pick a worker up, you do that action. And then Champions of Midgard, you get more of that fighting action going on. You do have the workers that you put down, but then when you go to fight, then you get more, so I guess maybe this is a mix of Euro and Ameritrash, but then you get more of the dice rolling and what's my luck going to be, and trying to think about, all right, I want to put 2 axe warriors because they have more hits, and at least 1 shield because they have more hits, or shield, 1 spear person warrior because they have more hits but also shields, and then stuff like that. So there's a little more fighting and kind of playing around with that one. But like I said, overall I like them both the same. Drawbacks between the two. Is there anything that you didn't like about Raiders of the North Sea? Or didn't like as much?
No.
Okay.
No.
What about Champions of Midgard?
No, just it had a level 1, level 2, level 3, level. it's a little bit. I think it's fast that Rangers. Just this.
Okay. Oh yeah, you
Other
mentioned.
routine.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the beginning. You liked Raiders because it doesn't have that level tracker. So in Champions of Midgard, there's eight rounds and you're done. Right? There's that. With Raiders, you can raid everything first, or you can try to race to get all the fortresses done, like I tried to do, thinking that I was ahead, but I was wrong. Um, so
This game, maybe you can't go for fight with the monsters, but game is over.
oh yeah.
I couldn't fight with the monsters in the really play game.
Uh-huh.
We played that. I couldn't going for fight with the monsters, but game is over.
Yeah, when we did the playthrough, before doing the playthrough, Resvon won Champions. Then when we did the playthrough, I ended up winning, but I got a monster which put me ahead closer to the end. I think at like round 6 or 7, I went and got a monster really quick. Oh, I think it was 6, and then at 8, I grabbed one more monster. And Resvon was still trying to build up her warrior dice and set it up. So she didn't get a chance. Well, you got one chance at the end to fight the monster, but it didn't work for you, if I remember it. Or it did. I can't remember completely. But yeah, there is that feeling in Champions where you get to a point where you're getting a lot of warrior dice and you want to just really start attacking everything, but you're at round 8. And then you're like, oh, that's, whoops, game over, right? So there's that. I see that. Okay. But like we said, there's enjoyment. They're both, we both rate them at the same level. But is there anything else that you want to add about either of the games, Resvon?
No,
No?
it's so good. I hope other people play that and they enjoy that.
Me too. I think they're both enjoyable. Just a quick cap so you know, Raiders, you're raiding. I guess is the best way to look at it. They're both Viking games. With Raiders, you're raiding. You're going up and you're just literally stealing the food raiding part. You're not doing the fighting part. In Champions of Midgard, you're fighting to protect your village. Raiders, you're just raiding to get more fame for your village. In Champions, you are fighting to protect your village to get fame for yourself. So you can kind of look at it that way. Dice, straight worker replacement. There's a little bit of dice. There's 2 dice that play at a certain point in the game, but heavy dice in this one because they're your warriors, but that's about it. But yeah, I think you guys can enjoy either of them, right? They're both super fun. I know that I was told about both of them. Eventually, I got both of them, and I ended up liking both of them. Resvon likes both of them, which makes it even better because then I can play them more often. But yeah, that's our overview of Raiders of the North Sea and Champions of Midgard. And that whole idea of start playing worker replacement games or Viking worker replacement games or games at all. But thanks for stopping by. And as usual, help us grow the coalition by liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'm Steven.
I'm Desmond.
And we're Cardboard Coalition. See you later, everybody.